Just came back from the shop, and if we take a closer look at that front bumper, she's no longer missing paint in this corner. I tell you what, this has to be the most paint for the least amount of money that anyone's ever got. I mean, look at all that extra paint we got. There's just a lot of paint in this job.
I'm here at the Pick Your Parts yard. It seems really busy today, and all I need are a few Jaguar reflectors. According to their online inventory, it seems like they have 2 or 3 S types, and when I remove some of the reflectors off this car, they just crumbled because they're so old and brittle. So hopefully, even though the cars are gonna be old as mine, there'll be some usable reflectors on these cars, because they're really difficult parts to find, and I'm pretty sure that even if you could get them at the dealership, they're fairly costly, if they even make them anymore. So let's hop inside and see what we can find.
Funny enough, okay, so there's the S Type, and it's got the Type R grill, which I might take. I'm not sure yet, but there's actually people working on it right now. I already asked them. They're not getting the reflectors, so I'll come back. Supposedly there's another one a few rows up here, so I'm gonna go see if the reflectors are in better condition on the other one, because a lot of the reflectors on this one had the same problem mine had, and that all the clips are broken off because they're old. See, when I tried to remove this one, even though I'm doing it really nice, it cracked. So I kind of wanted this grill here. This looks like an OEM Type R grill, but you can see it's all broken. The mounting tab here is broken, mounting tab here is broken, and unless it's like $5 or something, it's not worth recreating, and I'm guessing that's like a, I don't know, $15, $20 piece. So from the Pick Your Parts yard, I made it back with just 2 of these. I call them reflectors, but maybe they're turn signals. They do have bulbs in them, and they go something like this. So basically, this one will go in there and sit like that, and there's 6 of them. So I have those 2, I have the 2 that go on the sides, and I have 1 of these. One of them's missing. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find that last one in another yard or something. And yes, my rear wheels aren't painted yet. I'm getting to that very soon, and she's gonna help me. So anyway, the Pick Your Parts yard is really interesting because those 2 reflectors, just these 2, cost me like $20. If you do the math, that's like $10 a piece, plus they charge you $3 to get in. Now, those reflectors aren't perfect. They're plastic, and they were still kind of brittle and have some cracks in them. See the cracks? They are indeed better than this stuff right here. Now I bring that up because they literally have probably a couple thousand cars at this yard, and I paid $20 for 2 tiny pieces. There's still a lot of car left. I actually wanted to see if they had a new J shifter because mine has a crack in the plastic. They didn't. Both of those S types had a bunch of pieces missing off them. Who knew that S types would be so popular at the Pick Your Parts yard? But they are, and there were a lot of people, like I showed you. These pick your parts yards are generating hundreds of dollars per car a month. A friend of mine who's in the business told me that these cars can generate sometimes like $500 a month per car. And do the math, if you've got a lot with 1,000 cars on it, that's $500,000 a month in revenue. So old needy cars like this, that can utilize the parts off of a junk car like this, that can be purchased for hundreds of dollars, they're turned into thousands of dollars in parts. And these people aren't even putting their hands on it, they're just dropping the car right there and having you pick the parts. It's just one of those things that I find super fascinating about used parts and really make me appreciate the pick your parts yard even more. But let's not talk about used parts anymore. In the trunk here are a few new parts that I bought that are gonna get us to our goal of 500 horsepower under $5,000. And you guessed it, well, you saw it in the title. So the theme of this build is 500 horsepower under $5,000. And in the last Jaguar video where I showed you guys the paint job, you kind of inadvertently challenged me even further. A lot of you guys were saying, hey, why are you spending money on paint when your goal is to get to 500 horsepower under $5,000? And I really didn't think I was gonna put the paint job into the budget here. I thought that was going to be kind of separate and leave us with roughly $1,100 to mod this car. But I like your thinking. I think it's good that we keep the entire build under $5,000. So you likely remember that the car cost me $3,900. I spent roughly around $500 for the paint job and a few spray cans. I had a lot of stuff from other jobs like primer, sandpaper, and things like that for prepping, so not going to include that. That leaves us with roughly $600 to make this car an extra 100 horsepower. Now, the first box is not a necessity. You don't need this to make power, but I figure since this is a strange platform, we'll give this thing a try. There's a lot of wires and cables in here, but what this is called a power safe. Now, none of this was sponsored. I paid for it all. It not only hooks up to the nitrous bottle, but it also hooks up to your exhaust system to calculate your air-fuel ratio. And basically, this will only let the nitrous go through the car if its parameters are set correctly. So basically, you set the parameters, the air to fuel, the temperatures, all that sort of stuff, and then it measures everything, and it's exactly what it is, fail-safe. So this is not 100% necessary, but again, a Jaguar S Type R is not a Mustang or Corvette that's had nitrous put through it a million times and people kind of know what to expect. All you nitrous guys out there, let me know, comment section below, if it's worth running that thing in this car. The nice thing is it retails for around $400, but I got it around $250 because there was a big sale on eBay a couple weeks ago and there was a coupon offer that greatly discounted all this stuff. And so now we're at the nitrous kit. This is one of Nitrous Express's generic kits that fits pretty much any car. And it comes with a few jets. Now I was recommended that we start off with the 75 shot. Guys have told me since it is a forced induction car that you might gain more than 75 horsepower because it cools the intake air temperatures substantially. The nitrous, of course. Let's rip into this box and see what we got. Ooh, this is so cool. Again, this was eBay, brand new from an authorized reseller, but on super mega sale because of eBay's coupon. This was around $330. So $330 plus, so all this stuff right under $600, leaving us with a few dollars to spare in case we got to buy a piece of hardware or something. We are still under the $5,000 range. But the big question is, how in the heck do you hook this thing up? Well, I am a nitrous newbie. I have an idea of how all this works. The problem is there is so much stuff going on in this engine bay and so much of the top of the engine is covered here. I think there's gonna be a decent amount of disassembly, but hey, that gives us a good project. So this right here is our jet that goes into the intake right before the throttle body. Now, most throttle bodies are visible, but this one slopes under the intake here and is underneath all of that. So I think we're gonna pull all that up to get the jet in there. That's gonna shoot our nitrous and our fuel mixture in through there, and that's what's gonna give us our extra, hopefully 100 horsepower. Besides the jet, there's obviously lines that run everywhere to the fuel to the nitrous bottle that we should be mounting in the trunk. And the other thing I think, but I'm not positive, is that there is a Schrader valve on the fuel rail on this car, and I think that's what we're going to want to tap into for our fuel source. We simply press this button right here when we're at wide open throttle, and should make things go really fast. There's not a lot of guys that tune for this Jaguar, and even if they do, the tunes cost more than I spent on this nitrous kit. So a wet kit should get us to our goal of 500 horsepower and do it under the $5,000 threshold. And to think that we're gonna get that much power for that much money, to me, is mind-blowing. I'm super excited about it. But I am new to nitrous, so if you guys know something that maybe I don't know, maybe you think I'm doing the wrong thing or I'm totally crazy, please let me know. Comment section below or email me, samcrackauto@gmail.com. If you have any tips or tricks when it comes to nitrous for me, I'd love to hear them. Also, if you are excited about 500 horsepower under $5,000, definitely make sure to hit that like button. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you very soon.